So this is our shoulder flexibility stream. The rep target's a little bit less important here than it is with some of the strength or trunk movements, but essentially we're looking for a quality 60 seconds with a full range of motion before considering progression onto the next exercise up the stream. Essentially what this offers is a gateway to our overhead strengthening. So you want to be able to work all the way through this stream, guys, before you introduce any overhead strengthening exercises such as overhead press or chin-ups or pull-ups. So if you're not able to get through this stream and you're finding some of these movements difficult, then what I'd suggest you do when it comes to your strengthening for your upper body is perform push-ups and rows, which are horizontal and pushing and pulling movements. It's going to develop our range of motion in our thoracic spine, which is kind of our mid to upper spine. It's going to develop flexibility and range of motion in the pecs and also the lats, which run either side of the torso. It's also going to help us develop coordination through our scapula. So scapula and shoulder blades are the same thing. Essentially what the scapula does, there's muscles around it which move it upwards and downwards and rotate it slightly, and this allows us to essentially change the position of where our glenohumeral joint is, so our actual ball and socket of our shoulder. Our scapula is moving well, it can change the position of where the shoulder actually sits, and these exercises in this stream here are effective for helping us do that. With all of them, we want to be following them nice and slow and really thinking about the positions that we're trying to hit, that I'll cover in a second. So from a coaching standpoint, whether you're doing this on the floor or the wall, you want to be gently pressing the back into that surface. Okay, so the lower back's gently pressed into it, the upper back's going to be slightly extending to stay with it, and from there we're keeping the chin slightly tucked. Okay, so essentially we'll be able to keep a nice flat spine against the surface that we're on. Now position 1, you want to hold that for a moment or two when you start this exercise. This should be the elbows flat to the wall, so right angle with the elbows. The elbows should be flat to the wall and the wrist should be flat to the wall. From here, position 2, as you press the arms overhead, is going to be the elbows should be locked in a Y position and the wrist should be in contact with the wall here. You only want to move into a pain-free position, so choose obviously a exercise in the stream that's pain-free, and you can actually perform it with full range of motion as discussed in the previous 2 positions before considering moving on to the next one, and again hitting roughly 60 seconds there with pain-free movement. A cue that I'll often talk to people about with this one, guys, is reaching to the corner of the sky as you press. This can be really effective for getting our scapulars to upwardly rotate and almost like roll around the outside of our rib cage as we reach. And as we look onto some of these progressions here, which should be the prone ones where we're lying on a bench, these end up being a bit more strengthening. So because we're actually horizontal and we're raising up our arms against gravity, it can be a little bit more strenuous and cause more of a strengthening in our overhead position. So they're obviously quite challenging. We want to be able to get the hands above the head in both the right angled, so the scarecrow rotated position, also as we press the arms overhead as well, we want to be trying to get them in line or above the head, and that's a full range of motion in these positions. Awesome, guys. This overhead strength will come in really handy for improving your posture, but also allowing you to move on to some of these more advanced body exercises. We hope you enjoy them.